And I'd like to take a moment because, I've played a lot of churches for a lot of years. I was in Simi for 12 years. I subbed and then I landed in Simi for a while. And now I've been here for almost 2 years. And having been at a lot of different churches, I want to tell you what a great luxury I have and we have here in Reverend Mary Morgan.
Oh,
and I thought, every Sunday I say, oh, here's the poem, this is such
thank you.
an amazing thing. She has a beautiful voice. She does everything around here.
Wow.
Thank
you. Okay.
All right. Reverend Mary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really, it's a great luxury to me because I can say, oh, Mary, I can't find anybody to sing this Sunday. She'll say, I'll do it. What are we doing?
We're doing God is my source.
Oh,
God is my source.
Oliver, let me talk to
Do you have
Oliver
them
for
up
a
there?
minute.
Do you have the words?
I think you got it. Okay, on the percussion. Keep going, Oliver. Come on. Show me what you got. Oliver Brown on the percussion. On the bass. From the bass side of town. Carl Vincent. He's been following me around for about 30 years now. I can't get rid of him. Did you all celebrate Juneteenth? Did you? Juneteenth? I know Roxanne knows. Roxanne Reese is here!
Yay, Roxanne!
Oh, it's your turn. Get up and let's sing. Come on. Before we sing, I was in Simi with Reverend Rambo. He'd say, who's your source? And the congregation would say, God is. Who's your source?
God is.
Who's your source?
God is.
Who's your source?
God is.
Get a little funky first. 1, 2, 3. God is my source.
God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source.
What is?
Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need.
What does?
So I give thanks
I give thanks
for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
I give thanks.
for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything.
All right, take a second.
Back
here.
to God.
Let's do a breakdown. Come on. Let me hear ya. All right.
So I give thanks
I give thanks.
for all my blessings.
All my blessings.
God gives me everything I need. Once again, God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Excellence! Yay! Please look at your neighbor and greet them with love. Oh,
Testing. Testing. Good morning, wonderful people here at the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. I am H.R. Norwood, your appointed greeter for today. If there's anyone here for the first time, please raise your hand, stand, show your face so we can see what's going on. We have greeters with the package. That's 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much for your attendance today. I said once before, if you tell your neighbors we are here, they will show up. But we are God-fed, God-led, God-protected, God-directed. God shows us the way to have the most perfect day in every kind of way. And so it is. Our musicians today with, ooh-wee, Sister Reese, you're on the stage.
Good morning.
No, she can sit it down. Yeah, thanks.
This is a song from The Color Purple. I went to see it and it inspired me. And I hope it inspires you today. My debut here singing it. Dear God, dear stars, dear trees, dear sky, dear people, dear everything, dear God. God is inside me and everyone else that was or ever will be. I came into this world with God, and when I finally looked inside, I found it just as close as my breath is to me. Rising like the sun is the hope that sets us free. God makes my heart beat, and when we share love like a blade of corn, like a honeybee, like a waterfall, all a part of me, like the color purple. Where does it come from? Now my eyes are open. Look what God has done. It takes a grain of love to make a mighty tree. Even the smallest voice can make harmony. It takes a drop of water to keep the river high. There are miracles for you and I. Like a blade of corn, like a honeybee, like a does it come from? Now my eyes are open. Look what God has done for you and me. Like a waterfall or a part of me, like the color purple. Where does it come from? Now my eyes are open. Look what God has done for you and me.
Miss Hot Potato herself. Holy cow, you cannot not smile when you're around Roxanne and hear her singing. Am I right? We're so glad you're here. Good morning, everyone. I know we're doing fine now because we have liftoff here with that song. Dr. Moira's topic today is one collective power, and I'm going to share a couple readings with you, one that came to me in the first service, but I'm going to share this one from the Science of Mind book. It's on page 445. We need spiritual experience, a first-hand knowledge of life and reality. There is no medium between God and man, nothing between life and living, or between heaven and hell, but an idea. But an idea has no real value until it becomes an experience. In conversation, we assume great knowledge of religion and philosophy, but how do we really experience God? We can know only what it is that we experience. In the Science of Mind teaching, we learned that this teaching is a spiritual system, that the God that we pray with or to is the God that we are praying from. And while all that sounds intellectually correct, sometimes I don't get it. Sometimes I'm out of kilter if someone upsets me or if something goes wrong or if I get a little knocked off my axis. And I have to remind myself, hey, that's right. I'm one with the universe and I'm one with this collective power and I'm one with that person that's made me mad right now, right? So we say, we want to understand that there's a unification in that knowing. There's a great monk from the 17th century, Brother Lawrence. And he kind of coined the practice of practicing the presence. And you can read all about him. I encourage you to go out there and check him out because he talks about practicing the presence. And you go, practicing the present, what does that mean? It means dialing into your God self. And we all know it because intuitively we came here with an understanding of our oneness, not only with the power in the universe, but our oneness with each other. Sometimes we forget it, though. Some of us didn't get that memo. I like it that we're all lamps, right? We're all plugged in. We are all plugged in lamps, but some of us have to turn the light on. And then, sometimes when you turn the light on, you can go 1, 2, or 3. It gets brighter, brighter, brighter. The goal is the bright. Right? The goal is the brightness. So it's sometimes what we focus on, we become, right? What we come to understand, we become. I'm going to quote the scriptures right now just because this is beautiful. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are good, report and be with them. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things alone. Now think about that. If we focused all of our attention all day long on what works in our life, some of us wouldn't even be able to have a conversation because we're so busy telling everybody all the troubles we've had. The troubles I've seen, right? Right? I heard this beautiful story, and it's not just oneness with people. I heard this beautiful story about Dr. Ernest Holmes. He was having a conversation with Dr. Hornaday at Founders, and they were planning a big event, much like we are with our ordination coming up July 8th. Plug. So, but he was planning it, and the gardener came in and he said, Dr. Holmes, don't worry. That tree in the courtyard that's dying, don't worry. It will be removed by the time of the event. Dr. Holmes sat up and said, what tree that's dying? And he said, oh, there's a tree there. It's looking really bad. We're just going to remove it. And Dr. Holmes said, hold on a minute. He went out there, hugged the tree, and did a prayer treatment and said, now guess what? You come from the same power that I come from. And you are the body of God personified as a tree right now. And so I'm knowing your wholeness, your completeness, and your perfection. And you know they did not cut the tree down. And that's a true story. It's published in the book. They said that actually happened. So it's not just our oneness with people. It's our oneness. Let's think about our oneness with our pets. Come on. Unconditional love personified in our pets, correct? We are one with everything. And so if you come with that approach, your whole energy changes because you're in that flow of that stream of consciousness of love rather than separation. Because separation is just an illusion anyhow, isn't it? So please affirm with me, there is one power. That power is God. That power is almighty. That power is stronger than any issue I think I may have. I am one with the power that created me. And so it is. Thank you.
See, she does everything. She does everything now.
Please stand and join. We're going to sing again.
And now she's going to sing. Okay. Is it I Let It Be?
Wash over me. I let it be. Yes, I let the love wash over me. I let it be. I let the joy wash over me. I let it be. Well, I let the joy wash over me. I let it be. I let the peace wash over me. I let it be. Yes, I let the peace wash over me. I let it be. Oh, I let it be. I let it be. Excellent. Now we're going to welcome up Lucy to share our announcements with us.
Good morning. It's been a hot minute since I did this one. All right, family picnic is today after second service. It will be at Alta Vista Park across the street. The center will provide fried chicken, and you are asked to bring a dish that corresponds to your last name. I believe the details are in the program. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. This promises to be a fun afternoon. Please join us after service at the park. Drumming Circle is also today at 12:30 p.m. in the Montessori Room. Divine Dining is back. Bidding will open today, Sunday, June 24th, and close on Sunday, July 8th at 12:30 p.m. sharp for Wine War, North versus South. The opening bid is $40 per person, and there are 18 spots. Mark Ruth will be in the foyer to answer any questions, and Mark would like to speak to you about Divine Dining now.
All right, Divine Dining is back. How many have been to a Divine Dining event? All right, a lot of you. So this one starts July 14th, and conceptually what Divine Dining is the host have an event. You as the guest get to bid on coming to that event. The hosts have paid for the food, the wine, whatever, and all the money that you bid go to the center. So it's a win-win for everybody. You have a wonderful time, the hosts get to put on a great event, and the church gets to have some money. So we look forward to you bidding often and a lot. Thank you.
Since the theme is wine, I propose we call it Divine Whining just this once. Just saying. Visioning with Dr. Moira will continue on Mondays at 6 p.m. Garden Club Workday is next Saturday, June 30th at 8 a.m. If you love to garden, join Reverend Louisa and help spruce up our gardens. New Member Day is Sunday, July 1st. We are encouraging all who have become members in the last year through Science of Mind classes to join at the counter so you can be a part of our New Member Sunday next Sunday, July 1st. Women's Circle is also Sunday, July 1st at 12:30 p.m. in the teen room. We are going to have an ordination service on Sunday, July 8th at 3 p.m. for the ordination of Reverend Catherine McKinney and Reverend Kathy Sinfield. There will be a reception following in Richelieu Hall. That's at 3 p.m. Flower dedication today is in memory of Noble Smith. Thank you for your many years of service, a wonderful legacy, and a Mr. Rogers attitude. You will be missed. These flowers are from Sheila Bow. I hope I said that right. We always have practitioners on duty. Look for them under the practitioner sign in the foyer. We also offer prayer circle after both services. If you would like to be a part of it, please come to the grand piano after service. Please remain seated for the meditation song.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
And so, I choose now to be conscious in this moment of time and make it the extraordinary thing that it is always, but mostly when I am consciously connected with it. Time, the most precious of all things there is, ours to do what we will in that space of time. And this beautiful space of time is for me now to get myself together, to align myself in the awareness that I am not my circumstances, I am not my situations, I am not my challenges, I am not my successes. I am so much more than all of that, and that's what I want to be in touch with now. To be in touch with that faceless, formless energy that I am. To be in touch with the magnificence of light and life and love that I am. To appreciate that now in an awesome moment and allow it to saturate all that I am indeed, and to penetrate all the corners of my life until I realize there are no corners in my life, and that the vastness and the totality and eternality of all of life's good is available to me and available to me now. And it is in moments of conscious awareness like this that everything on the outer plane is taken care of. Everything on the outer plane dissipates itself into one beautiful energy of unity and harmony and alignment. That's the best way to take care of all that seems to weigh, all that seems to challenge, all that seems to be impossible at times. All I have to do is to be consciously in tune, in consciousness with the essence of my being and all being, the essence of my life and all of life, that faceless, formless energy that is a nucleus of power upon which my consciousness can bring itself to bear in a way that generates pool upon pool and wave upon wave of wonderful, wonderful good, emanating and pulsating from the core of my being, taking care of everything unlike itself as it moves out and up and around and about, making all things new. I allow myself that moment of feeling that all things are new now, that the light and the life and the love that I have consciously said yes to is moving in every part and particle of my life and living on the interior and exterior planes, and bringing everything back into its original divine design of wholeness and completeness and perfection. So I breathe in that life, I breathe out that life. And with it I'm breathing in a blessing and out a blessing, knowing that right where I am, truth is, and its power. And when I recognize it, all is well. And what I know for myself, I know for everyone on this plane, I know it for every living thing. Good and only good, life and only life, love and only love, peace, power, and all that is whole and wholesome. This is the truth I am speaking from within the truth center of my being. It is the truth that I send forth to be magnified and moved upon by the law of life itself, as I say, with gratitude. And so it is.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
So here we are, my dear ones, in another Sunday, another wonderful, great Sunday after an awesome week, I'm knowing, for everybody, no matter what. And ready and open to see what it is that we're here for, what it is the Spirit is wanting to express in and through and by means of each one of us. And it's going to be different for us all. We'll all hear whatever it is we all need to hear. And we'll all respond however we will respond, individually and uniquely, as we always do. And so the topic for today is one collective power, one collective power. And the collective is always magnified. And so again, as I was saying this morning, it's amazing how we can come up with all of these wonderful ways of speaking and addressing the one truth, the one amazing truth that we are here to awaken back into. And that is, there is one life. There is one life, and we're looking at our life today as part of the whole. We're looking at our life today as part of the collective consciousness, part of that one mind, that one power, that one intelligence. And to understand the import of this, and we have heard this over and over and over again, my goodness me, especially some of us who teach classes and take classes and all of that, that there is that one life, and that one life lives us. And if we could just identify with that and truly grasp that and believe that, and then having done that, apply that awareness, then our lives would be incredibly, amazingly unified. And we, wherever we would be, would have an awesome effect on all of life around us. That's our inheritance. That's in our spiritual DNA to experience. So this week and today we are asked to really and truly get a grip on ourselves, a real grip on ourselves with regard to what's going on right now in our lives and how we are in our lives just now. And if there's some adjustments need to happen, then to be willing to make the adjustments and to recalibrate, so to speak. Every machine, you know, every now and again has to be recalibrated, and we're no different. We have to recalibrate too. We have to realign. We have to keep ourselves all oiled up with the oil of the Holy Spirit, of course. And so we ask ourselves, all right then, okay, is today going to be like every other day? Will this coming week be like every other week? Will I go into it knowing the challenges are there? Will I go into it knowing that a lot is weighing upon me? Will I go into knowing it, how I don't know how to handle maybe this or that or the other? Or will I actually allow myself to just breathe and to trust that inner awareness and that inner truth and that inner capability that is always present to me and I can draw from at any given time? Am I enough in myself to be able to do that? Am I sure enough of myself to be able to do that? Do I believe enough in myself to do that? Can I believe right here and right now? Can you believe right here and right now that I have what it takes to do what it takes in order to live a wonderful, good life? Can I believe that? That I have what it takes to do what it takes to live a wonderful, good life? It's not enough just to know I have what it takes. I have to know that I can do also what it takes to live a wonderful, good life. Because life is action, life is motion, life is movement. And I have to go with the flow of that consciously and deliberately in order to take care of the business of my life. Because as I said this morning, nobody else is going to do it for me, nor can they do it for me. And nobody's coming to show me the way. Nobody's coming to show me the way. I must take care of myself. The self must raise the self, as the Bhagavad Gita says. And for that to happen, we are told that we must know ourselves. Man, know thyself. First words written over any temple that we know of. Man, know thyself. To thine own self be true. And all of that you and I have heard over and over again, that goes in this ear, and out the window, usually. But maybe, just maybe this time, something is going to stick. Something is going to have its way with us. Something is going to move upon us, within us, that causes us to do what we can always do. What is the one thing that you and I can always do to take care of the business of our lives? Start. Start. Just start. And start doesn't mean taking on the whole kit and caboodle at one time. It just means start. Start maybe with a tiny little endeavor to make a baby step. That is a start. What you and I could do, and it's a great secret that very few people know, what you and I could do is to see every new thought that moves us or impulse that moves us to start in the direction of our good, whatever that is, as day one. To wake up every morning and see every new day as day one. Because in day one of a new program that you and I are embracing, we're energetic, we're interested, we're full of this at least hope that something is going to happen because I'm going to make this endeavor and I'm going to stick to it this time. So if we could see every day as a day one, with all the energy that goes with the day one, with all the energy that goes with the starters and the beginner's mind, honest to Pete, I value most deeply the beginner's mind. It's a wonderful state to be in, the beginner's mind. I'm taking on something new, I'm taking on something different. I'm taking on this challenge that I know is going to bring me to good. Why? Because when we talk about this thing called life, when we talk about this one power, this one collective power, when we talk about that, what we're talking about refers to the truth that my life's experience is the objectification of my consciousness. My life's experiences are the result of the objectification of my consciousness. Human experience on this planet right now is the result of humanity objectifying the consciousness that humanity has been living and moving and thinking in out into outer exterior experiences. Consciousness is always the key. Now, you and I are endeavoring, that's why we're in this room, to become consciousness. Not just consciousness, but consciousness. And that's the key to every good thing, to be consciously awake and alert and aware. But to do what it takes, and know that we can do what it takes in order to flourish, in order to thrive, in order to make the difference. Again, we are told over and over again, keep knocking. For those who keep knocking, doors will open in the most mysterious ways, but you got to keep knocking. You don't give up after you've knocked on 100 doors and say it's useless, it's not happening. You go for the 101, like Edison went for the 1001 light bulb. Never giving up. What is the difference between people who succeed and people who don't succeed? The ones who don't succeed give up. That's the only difference. I'm reminded of the young man who in high school wanted to go to college desperately and was very keen and very eager. And he wasn't really good academically. He hadn't developed those skills yet. So he handed in his paper a month early, and he got it back from the teacher, in a couple of days. And she said, really, you're not really good at this stuff. I mean, really and truly, maybe you need to be thinking in terms of something else. Maybe you need to really understand that perhaps this is not the way for you to go, because he wanted to get into college. And he took the paper and he rewrote the paper and he handed it back in to her and he said, here, I've tried again. She again gave back the paper, and on the paper was, And then he said, I'll do it again. Hands back in the paper again, gets the paper back. Still, it's not. He said, listen to me, teacher. I am going to be the one that's going to rob you from time from your family, because every time you give me back the paper, I'm going to give it back to you. And I want your help with this. And I will do what it takes in order for me to succeed at this, and I know what I want, and I know where I want to go and where I want to be, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes in order for me to do that. And that's what he kept doing. He kept handing her back the paper, handing her back the paper, handing her back the paper, handing her, and did take a lot of her time until eventually she said, oh, for God's sake, sign up and see me after class for the next 3 weeks and I'll help you toward the whatever it is. And he got through and he went through and he succeeded and he achieved. Why? Because he paid the price. He paid the price. He did what it took in order for him to do it. Now, here's the thing. You and I will not get what we want. You and I will get what we earn. You and I will get what we deserve. That's what we'll get. Now, don't be worried about earning and deserving, because we've all been told we're just, children of a great God and we're all entitled and it's all given to us and so on and so on. Yes. But didn't your mother tell you over and over again, God helps those who help themselves? Didn't you hear that over? I did all the time. God helps those who help themselves. Like the kid who comes to his parents saying, I want some money for this. And the parents say, okay, all right, let's figure out a way for you to earn that. Let's figure out a way for you to earn that. So here's what you could do. And if you do this and if you do that, and if you mow the lawn and so on, you can have that $10. And a lovely story from Jim Rohn, who's a great motivational speaker. And he was saying that his daughter really wanted to go on a trip of a lifetime, and she was saving and saving and saving and saving and saving. And she came to her dad one day and she says, guess what, Dad? I've saved $1,000. I've saved $1,000 and we can go, the family, we want to go on this wonderful trip. And he said, oh my goodness. He said, that's great. He said, how did you save the $1,000? She said, well, we all got together and we said, we won't buy things that we don't really need, and we'll spend the money wisely and carefully and only on things that we do need. And so we did that for that length of time, and here we are with $1,000. And she said, of course, now we need $2 more $1,000 because it's going to take $3,000. And the dad smiled and said, well, of course. He said, I was willing to support that because they made the initial effort, and of course, as a dad, I'm willing to support that. But nothing for nothing, nothing for nothing. You got to earn, you got to deserve what you're going to get. And so I was thinking about that, and I was saying, well, we never hear about earning and deserving, really. But I understand it in the light that it's meant to be understood. All it means is this: okay, I go to the field of consciousness, and I stand in the field of consciousness, and I say, and I want, 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 and the field is smiling and saying, what a fool coming to me expecting a harvest without bringing me seeds. Where are the seeds? Where are the seeds? Where's the sowing? The sowing has to happen. What a fool. What a fool. I need seeds in order to move upon anything that is requested. And you and I can be a bit like that at times. We can do all the affirmations and we say all the prayers and do all the reading and take all the classes and so on, and then stand in the field expecting it all to show up. But it's not going to show up until I sow the seeds of what I have learned, the knowledge I have taken in. Once I have apply that, and then I allow that to work through me and work upon me, so that I know that I can do what it takes in order to achieve what I wish to achieve. I've got to sow the field. I've got to plow the field and sow the seeds, scatter those seeds in order for a harvest to come through. But we're lazy. We're lazy. We want somebody else to do our sowing and they can't. That's the problem. No one can sow their seeds for us. We've learned that as a child. Our mommies couldn't, heal us of this little hurt or that little hurt or the other little hurt. The one thing mommies could do was kiss anything better, and it was better as soon as they kissed it. That's what they could do. But the little wounds of the heart and things like that, we had to be able to self-medicate. And that's what we're learning here, how to spiritually self-medicate, how to take care of what we need to take care of in order to accomplish and achieve what we want to accomplish and achieve. So instead of all of the craziness that we entertain in our mind, instead of all of the busyness of the embodiment weighing us down and pressing in upon us and causing us to be breathless at times, we could entertain something different to cause us to feel differently about ourselves. What we need to have, and I love Jim Rohn's term for it, he says, we need to develop an enlightened self, an enlightened self-awareness, an enlightened self-awareness, or an enlightened self-interest. interest. And I like the word interest here because he says, are you interested enough in yourself? Are you interested enough in yourself and in your life in order to do what it takes to flourish and thrive? Are you interested enough in yourself? Do you not find yourself so interesting, so amazingly interesting, uniquely interesting, that you're saying, by Jiminy Cricket, I have so much to bring to the world. In fact, there are so many seeds within me, there's not enough barns to hold the seeds that are within me if I could just allow myself to release them and plant them and sow them and tend to them and be excited about them as I'm taking care of them and as I see the first little shoots coming up to get that thrill that we do the first time as a small child. We put that little seed in a cup and we see that shoot coming up. Do you remember how giddy with delight you were? Oh my goodness me. And you took care of it. You wouldn't let anybody go, no, don't touch that, don't take care of it, take care of it. And then when it comes up into this lovely thing that you can take out and put down into the garden and see it even grow more fully and fully and fully. Now you see you're loaded with seeds. Seeds are useless if they're not planted. And when they're planted, they have to be taken care of. You have to take care of them. You know that. So what is the matter with us? Are we not interested enough in ourselves? Or is it that our interest is not enlightened? The interest that we have in ourselves, is it enlightened? Or is it just egoic self-interest? There's nothing stopping, nothing barring anyone from in this room to make up their mind and decide, I want to achieve and accomplish that, but I know I have to earn it. I know I have to deserve it. And the way I earn and deserve it is to keep knocking and knocking and knocking, to keep searching and searching and seeking and searching, because those who seek and search find. To keep asking it in the way, and spiritually asking means to keep pristine, an open receptivity, a receptacle for the good to come in. But in order for that to happen, I must clear out the clutter that's occupying that space, so that this pristine space can draw into itself this good that I desire, because I am creating a nucleus in that space that's going to rev itself up and ripple out and draw into it the good that I desire, because it'll be magnified and magnified and magnified with each ripple, magnified, magnified, and magnified, until not only that good, but that good plus will be pouring in, and the harvest will be so plentiful, I won't know what to do with myself. And here's the thing about harvest. It's always about sharing. You share a harvest. It's been traditional since time immemorial that we share the harvest. Share the harvest. But when we sow enough seeds, we won't even find enough places to spread this harvest around. It'll be so bountiful. It's up to you. It's up to me. But the knowledge is, do I have what it takes? And the answer is, of course. Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. I have, and I have more than enough. More than enough, as far as what it takes in order for me to be all that I am here to be. The trouble is, we've forgotten what we're here to be. We have so forgotten what we're here to be. We get so scared, we get so frightened, we get so contracted, we get so gripped, we get so clenched. And clenching doesn't become us at all. It doesn't become us at all. If you do that, just clench yourself up. Clench yourself up right now. Just do it. How awful that feels. That doesn't feel good. That does not feel good. And a clenched fist cannot receive anything. Cannot receive anything. The more open the hands are, the more hands can receive. Now, the question again comes back to, you have the power. What are you going to do with it? You are capable. You are enough. You always have been enough. You always will be enough in and of yourself to form within the conscious awareness of yourself a great good life and to stick with it. But the clue is stick with it. You can change your mind, as I've said over and over again. The challenge is to keep the mind changed. That's what persistence is. That's what consistency is. And if you're persistent and if you're consistent, you will keep knocking, you will keep searching, you will keep creating the space to receive, and you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. So instead of thinking of ourselves as this bundle of energy that's full of all kinds of trials and tribulations and challenges and situations and circumstances that you'd rather not be engaged in or involved in or have anything to do with, you could start thinking of yourself the way Spirit thinks of you, and the way life thinks of you, and the way life sees you, but not from out there, not from up there, not from over there, but from right here within yourself. There is this life, there is this light, there is this power, there is this beauty, there is this love, there is this joy, there is this every good thing. Always there, vibrating and thinking of itself as the fire that you are, the fire of power that you are, the light and brightness of infinite intelligence that you are, and the awesome, wholesome, unconditioned and unconditional love that you are. And you need go no further than that, because within those elements contain all the other good elements, like kindness and goodness and compassion and knowledge and wisdom and understanding and all the rest of it. All contained within life and light and love, and you're already full of it. You can't add one more bit of it to yourself. There's no more to be given to you, because everything is available and everything is out there and everything has been given. You and I are not just tapping into it, that's all. We're not tapping into it, we're not tapping into it. We are it, but we're not switched on, we're not plugged in, we're not tuned in. That's all we have to do. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Nobody ever said it was easy. You ask anybody who has ever taken upon themselves the idea that they can live a spiritual life for all of their days on this planet Earth, and they'll tell you there was nothing easy about it. Nothing, especially in the beginning. The beginning was just like boot camp. It still is like boot camp for you and for me. First class I went to in Science of Mind, and I got that textbook in my hands. I thought, good Lord, what the hey is this? This is supposed to be a textbook? I don't think so. I can't make sight nor light of it or sense of it, because it's all over the place, and there's 10 ways of saying everything. Never mind 10. When I got more in, it was 50 ways of saying everything. And I mean, whew, I had to stick to it. I had to stay with it, because something said there's something in here for you to comprehend. And when I stuck with it and continued with it and so on, because remember, you're always jumbling things up as well. You have to understand there's no such thing as a superhuman God. There's no long-bearded, white-robed person in the sky listening in on all you have to say and so on. Sometimes hearing you, sometimes ignoring you, whatever it is. Sometimes happy with you, sometimes ready to send you straight to hell. I mean, really and truly, that you had to get rid of all of that idea and notion and so on. And although you're a sensible, grown-up, intelligent individual, there's still that 4-year-old in you that was impressed by all of this way back when, and those roots go very deep, and they have to be taken care of. But the truth is, and it always was and it always will be, you're here because you're masterful. You're here because you're powerful. You are here because you are the very action of life itself, and you came in here in service to life, so that you could uplift it and help life on this plane to be all that it can be, by, of course, doing what we're asked to do, self-realizing, so that we can assist others to self-realize themselves too. And we do that by creating a world that works for everybody, and honoring present and nurturing spirits and enriching the life of all we serve. And that's who you are. So you could start thinking of yourself as, I am the Prince of Peace in my mind. I am the Queen of Hearts in my heart. I'm the King of Consciousness in consciousness. I am the very life and livingness of spirit itself. I am indeed all that spirit is. And whatever you consider spirit to be, life, whatever you want to call this thing that has no name because it cannot be named, whatever you want to call this impulse you feel within yourself from time to time, very, very, very deeply from time to time, whatever that is, whatever it is you're identifying it as, to lean into it and not run away from it, because the ego will have us run away from ourselves. The spirit will have us lean into ourselves, you see. And so we have to stop running away from ourselves and give that ego a little rest, because it's always got its runners on. And so we need to stop, be still, and know. As the great poet said, they also serve who only stand and wait. So what is it going to be? Another week of the same old, another week of every day waking up and picking up your trials and tribulations, putting them back on your shoulders and getting through the day as best you can. Now, I know not all of us are in that space, but too many of us are. And remember, it only takes enough of us, and there always have been throughout history enough of us to take care of the business on this plane. Do you remember the story? I love those mythic stories that we have in all of the scriptures. And Abraham tells the story very well. Anyway, Lot and his family are in Sodom and Gomorrah, as you know. You know what Sodom and Gomorrah, most of us know that they were debauched cities anyway. And because Lot and his family were good, they had this revelation that they better get out of Dodge because this place was going to be torched. And so Lot says, oh, please, please, God, don't torch the place. Don't give us a second chance. If I can find 50 just men, will you let it be? And he said, oh, for you, Lot, 50? Okay. Came back, Lord, I can't find 50. Would you go for 40? Would 40 be okay? Would 40 be okay? Oh, Lot, since it's you, okay. Goes off, comes, I said, Lord, I can't find 40. Now listen, I know, but still, 30. What about 30? 30? Can I find 30? Okay, all right already. Goes to 20, can't find 20. Last shot, goes for 10, can't find 10. So he's enlightened enough to know that what he's told to do, the Great Spirit tells him, listen, it's not going to happen. Get your family, get out of town, because this place is going down. So he gets his family and he goes away and he gets out of town. The thing about it is, the moral of the story is there's always enough of us. Even if we're a few, there's always enough of us to save this world, to save the day. There's always enough of us. Even if we come in under the wire sometimes, there's always enough of us to save the day. And so you and I have to know out in the world who and what we are, most especially right now at this time. Because a lot of people are upset, a lot of people are worried, a lot of people are concerned. There's a mild, low-grade fear infection going around, and you and I cannot be part of that. We need to know something other than that. We need to know something bigger than that. We need to know something more wholesome than that. And remember, there's always enough to save the day. There's always enough of us to save the day, even if it is a few and even if it is at 5 minutes to midnight. There's always enough of us. So let's be brave and bold and let us know and give ourselves a shot at this. Give ourselves a chance at being who and what we are. Because really and truly, we can't be better than we are. We came in with everything we needed to take care of the business we signed up for, and that was to serve this life and make this life better and to make this world better, to take care of the world, to take care of ourselves, to take care of each other, because we all know that we live in a collective consciousness and we're all part of each other. We have collective power and we have individualized ways to express that. Let's take our opportunity and express that in ways, especially now, and it's in the little things when we become most irritable and all the rest of it, that we need to pull ourselves back and say no, because it's not about this situation right here before me, it's about the whole world at the moment. So I need to give as much love and bring as much light and bring as much peace to the world that I can just now, and that's how we save the day. So my dear ones, what is it going to be? Is it going to be something new and different? Can we make every day a day like the first day? Can we take the first step? Can we keep knocking on that door with energy and gusto and knowing that one of those doors are going to open, and when one opens, guess what? A whole ton of them open. And guess what? When we find one little treasure, it blows blows the thing open into tons of treasures. And guess what? When you and I create the nucleus to bring in good, oh, pooh! It goes ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, bam! It really does, and that's what you are. That's your power. That's your ability. That's what you can create for yourself now. It doesn't matter what's been going on until right up to this minute. You can be all of that, and then some. Are we going to allow ourselves to have enough enlightened interest in ourselves in order to be all that we can be? Are we going to do it, but now, are we? Yes. And so it is. So it is. So it is. You know, we're so big, we're so vast, we've so much going for us. Our lives are not rounded by a little sleep, as Shakespeare said. So much bigger than that, and you have such a big purview. You're reaching so far afield. It's wonderful to know we're all on this for this week. And Mrs. McKinney, the good Reverend, is going to come up and share something with us now.
I don't know how many people only come to services on Sunday. I love Sundays here. The messages, the music, the people. I always feel so warm about my Sunday mornings. I was in an upsetting situation, really, and it wasn't on Sunday, and I thought to come to the center. It was so quiet, not bustling as it is when filled with people. I wanted to talk to someone, but there was no one here to talk to me, so I asked if I could go into the sanctuary. I asked them to leave the lights off, and I sat in silence and semi-darkness. As I sat, I remembered uplifting words from services and from people and bits of songs. I admit I cried a bit, but after a while, I felt so much better. I seemed to have a better perspective. What I realized is how important it was for me, just at that time, that I had a place to go. I'm very grateful.
If you haven't tried that, try it sometime. Sometimes when things get a little bit condensed and tense, I come in here in the dark too. It's one of my wonderful runaways, and it's a wonderful thing. So if you've never done it, try it out. It's beautiful. The place is full. Okay. Want to take our gifts now as we share from our fullness, in gratitude for our fullness, knowing that what we share goes forth to do great good work, and it does. So let's bless our gift and say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good and I release my gift with love. So it is. Thank you.
This song is going to sound familiar, so feel free to join in, okay?
It's going to sound real familiar.
Yeah, it is.
Because we know that it's your birthday. You just had a big birthday celebration. So we're going to do Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roxanne. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Oh, I got to feel it. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking. Time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. 'Cause they're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. No, 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 no. The world won't get no better. We can change the world, you and me. Wake up all the doctors, there's another way to restore life in sick people today. Open up your minds and give loving care. You can be an instrument of healing everywhere. Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. Open up your minds and give it all you got. Surely it will work out. It does every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. No, 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 no. The world won't get no better. We can change the world, you and me. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking. Time to think ahead. You're the queen of hearts, like Reverend Moira said. You're the keys of consciousness. That's what the lady said. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. Come on now. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. You can change your mind. You can change your life. You can change it. Everybody. Wake up. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. Come on, Jim. Get on that trumpet. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. Yeah. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. Sow your seeds. Sow your seeds. Change your mind. Change your mind. Change your mind. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. Come on. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. We can change the world with our minds, with our spirit, with our love. Wake up.
Roxanne Race.
Wake up, everybody! Wake up! Wake up, everybody! Wake up! Change your mind! Change your mind! Sow your seeds! You're the queen of hearts! Reverend Moira said, you're the king of consciousness! You're the kings! You're the queens! We're all that, y'all! So, wake up!
Well, Roxanne always brings a party with her, whether it's her birthday or not. But wonderful. Thank you so much. And we're knowing you're having a very blessed day and that the year ahead will be full of richness and blessings for you, my dear. And thank you for being here. It's always a real rare treat. Thank you. And of course, our wonderful band, they're always on the button. So we're very blessed with our music.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
And of course, you know, we have Jim, and Jim was on the horn. Jim on the horn. So that little bugle man there, I tell you, makes a difference. And each one of us has a band within us, and that's what we're going to know this week. If you're dipping in energy, just remember you've got a band within you that's celebrating you all the time, and just celebrate with it. Well, we're going into a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'm knowing that for everybody, but very soon, in 2 weeks, we'll be celebrating here a very wonderful occasion, a very sacred occasion, and one that is rare and doesn't happen too often, and that is the ordination of Reverend Kathy and Reverend Catherine. And, invitations are extended to each and every one of you because you're the family. I mean, you're the family. And this happens because we want to recognize in an outer way what already has occurred in an inner way within these two awesome individuals. And so we will be celebrating that, and it's their opportunity to declare publicly their great commitment to serving this community and to serving this world in a very profound and a very challenging way. And so I know everybody would want to be part of that. I was talking with both of them this week, and we were talking about classes and how at the end of classes here, anybody who's attended a class will know this, we always have a potluck, and the food in the potlucks are always great. They're awesome. It's an amazing thing. It's like miraculous appearances of great food at that time. So although we will be providing food, of course, the request is that those of you who love to cook or bake or whatever, if you would like to, we invite you to bring one of your favorite dishes along so that everybody can enjoy that, to have that potluck experience to some extent. And so if you're willing to do that or want to do that, there's a sign-up sheet outside. And if you would like to sign, there's also a sign-up sheet for different parts and ways in which we can serve that day. There's a sign-up sheet for volunteers. But if I was requested to ask if you know that you want to do this, and if you know exactly what it is you're going to bring, would you write down what it is what dish you're going to bring? And remember, above all else, this is finger food. It's finger food. We have to eat it with our fingers, so no puddings, please. No matter how great they are, no puddings. So, and or a dessert if you're good at making a good dessert, finger foods again. Because we haven't got the space of the room for anything other than finger foods. So it'll be a phenomenal day, and as I say, it's an awesome day, and it's one that's rare. It's a very, very rare occasion to have the privilege of being at an ordination ceremony and to witness two people committing themselves to a lifelong dedication to being in sacred service. That's a big, 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 big thing. And as you know, we've had all of our other ministers are ordained and serve so beautifully very well. So also we have Noble's memorial services coming up, and the family told us that the last week of his life on this plane, they were singing the peace song, and they were singing "I Let the Love Wash Over Me," and so we're going to dedicate our peace song to Noble. And I want to say how wonderful it is. Last week, Marianne and her merry crew came in here, and the beautification team of the center, and they actually polished every piece of that brown wood out there in the hall. And when I came in on Sunday, the glow was amazing. So I want to really deeply appreciate all those beautiful people who give up their time, their most precious gift, their most precious, valuable thing, to come in and serve the community in this way. And that goes for all of you who are serving. All of you are serving. And you're going to see that next week after the gardening crew come in and do their thing too. And they all do that. I mean, their precious time. It's the most awesome thing. And Reverend Louisa will tell you that they're a merry band and they love what they do and they enjoy it. And all of you who serve, whether you're serving this community or out in the community, know that you're making a super amazing, awesome difference. You really, really are. And remember, even if nobody sees what we do as individuals, it is seen. It is seen where it's most rewarding to be seen. And so always you cannot give anything away without receiving so much more back. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all of you, and all of you who are entertaining those good thoughts. entertaining those good feelings and engaging in those good deeds. Really, you have no idea how much of a difference you're making. So let us all keep making the endeavor. And now we're going to dedicate this prayer for all those who are in transition just now, all those who are about to leave this world just now, so that they can do that gracefully and peacefully and joyously. I know divine love enfolds me, divine light leads me, divine life lives in me, divine wisdom inspires me, divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only love, there is only love, there is only love. Indeed there is, and there's picnic. There's picnic across the road after we're finished here at the center today. So let's stand and remember Noble joyously as we sing our peace song.